Assalamu alaikum students. I am Muhammad Amjad, lecturer Department of Education and Psychology, Kohart University of Science and Technology. I am your instructor for the course Social Psychology. I welcome you to lecture number 12 of your course. In today's lecture, we are going to discuss our topic self-conscious emotions. Let's start our lecture. First of all, look at the contents which we are going to discuss in our today's lecture. We will discuss self-conscious emotions, which are shame, pride, guilt, and embarrassment. Now we will discuss self-conscious emotions. There are variety of social emotions that relate to our sense of self and our consciousness of other reaction to us. Students, during the second year of life, new emotions begin to emerge. When children gain the understanding that they are themselves entities distinct from other people and begin to develop a sense of self. These emotions include shame, pride, guilt, and embarrassment. Now we will discuss self-conscious emotion, shame, in detail. Shame is an unpleasant self-conscious emotion typically associated with a negative evaluation of the self, withdrawal motivation, and feelings of distress, exposure, mistress, powerlessness, and worthlessness. Students, shame is a discrete basic emotion described as a moral or social emotion that drives people to hide or deny their wrongdoings. The focus of shame is on the self or the individual. It is the only emotion that is dysfunctional for the individual and functional at a group level. Shame can be a painful emotion that is seen as a comparison of the self's action with the self's standards. To shame generally means to actively assign or communicate a state of shame to another person. Behaviors designed to uncover or expose others are sometimes used to place shame on the other person, whereas having shame means to maintain a sense of restraint against offending others. Now we will discuss self-evaluation. When people feel shame, the focus of their evaluation is on the self or identity. Shame is a self-punishing acknowledgement of something gone wrong. It is associated with mental undoing. Studies of shame showed that when ashamed people feel that their entire self is worthless, powerless, and small, they also feel exposed to an audience, real or imagined, that exists purely for the purpose of confirming that the self is worthless. Shame and the sense of self is stigmatized or treated unfairly, like being overly rejected by parents in favor of siblings' need, and is assigned externally by others regardless of its own experience or awareness. An individual who is in a state of shame will assign the shame internally from being a victim of the environment, and the shame is assigned externally or assigned by others regardless of one's own experience or awareness. Now we will discuss self-conscious emotion, pride. Pride is an emotional state deriving positive effect from the perceived value of a person or thing with which the subject has an intimate connection. It may be inwardly or outwardly directed, with a negative implication. Pride refers to a foolishly and irrationally corrupt sense of one's personal value, status, or accomplishment. With a positive connotation, pride refers to a content sense of attachment towards one's own or an other choices and actions, or toward a whole group of people. And pride is a product of praise, independent self-reflection, and a fulfilled feeling of belonging. Philosophers and social psychologists have noted that pride is a complex secondary emotion which requires the development of a sense of self and the mastery of relevant conceptual distinctions. The pride is different from happiness and joy through language based interaction with others. Some social psychologists identify the non-verbal expression of pride as a means of sending a functional, automatically perceived sign of high social status. In contrast, pride could also be defined as a lowly disagreement with the truth. One definition of pride comes from Saint Augustine: the love of one's own excellence. Pride is sometimes viewed as corrupt or as a vice, sometimes as proper or as a virtue, while some philosophers such as Aristotle and George Bernard Shaw considered pride a profound virtue. Some world religions consider pride fraudulent from a sin. Pride is called the root of all evil. Pride can also manifest itself as a high opinion of one's nation, ethnicity, and sexual identity. Now we will discuss third self-conscious emotion, which is guilt. Guilt is an emotional experience that occurs when a person believes or realizes accurately or not that they have compromised their own standards of conduct or have violated universal moral standards and bear significant responsibility for that violation. Students, guilt is closely related to the concept of rumors as well as shame. Guilt and its associated causes, merits, and demerits are common themes in psychology and psychiatry. Both in specialized and in ordinary language, guilt is an affective state in which one experiences conflict at having done something that one believes one should not have done, or conversely, having not done something one believes one should have done. It gives rise to a feeling which does not go away easily. Freud described this as the result of a struggle between the ego and the superego. The philosopher Martin Buber underlined the difference between the Freudian notion of guilt based on internal conflicts and existential guilt based on actual harm done to others. Guilt is often associated with anxiety. In psychological research, guilt can be measured by using questionnaires such as the Differential Emotional Scale or the Dutch Guilt Measurement Instrument. Now we will discuss about defenses against guilt feeling. Defenses against feeling guilt can become an overriding aspect of one's personality. The method that can be used to avoid guilt are multiple. They include, the first one is repression. So what is repression? Usually used by the superego. and ego against instinctive impulses, but on occasion employed against the superego. If the defense fails, then return to the repressed, one may begin to feel guilty. Now, the second defense is projection. It is another defensive tool with wide application. It may take the form of blaming the victim. The victim of someone else's accident or bad luck may be offered criticism. The theory being that the victim may be at fault for having attracted the other person's hostility. Alternatively, not the guilt but the condemning agency itself may be projected onto other people in the hope that they will look upon one's deed more favorably than one's own conscience. Now we will discuss another defense, which is self-harm. Self-harm may be used as an alternative to compensating the object of one's transgression, perhaps in the form of not allowing oneself to enjoy opportunities open to one, or benefits due as a result of uncompensated guilt feelings. Now we will discuss another self-conscious emotion, which is embarrassment. It is an emotional state that is associated with mild to severe levels of discomfort and which is usually experienced when someone has a socially unacceptable or condition that was witnessed by or revealed to others. Embarrassment is similar to shame in some sense, except that shame may be experienced for an act known only to oneself. Embarrassment can be personal, caused by unwanted attention to private matters or personal flaws or mishaps or shyness. Some causes of embarrassment stem from personal actions, such as being caught in a lie or in making a mistake. Personal embarrassment can also stem from the action of others who place the embarrassed person in a socially awkward situation. Personal embarrassment is usually accompanied by some combination of blushing, sweating, nervousness. Sometimes the embarrassed person tries to mask embarrassment with smile or nervous laughter. Self-conscious emotions have been shown to have social benefits. These include areas such as reinforcing social behaviors and reparation of social errors. There is also possible research suggesting that a lack of self-conscious emotions is contributing cause of bad behavior. They have 5 distinct features that differentiate them from other emotions. The first one is require self-awareness and self-representation. Second, emerge later than basic emotions. And the third, facilitate attainment or complex social goals. And the fourth one is do not have distinct universally recognized facial expression. And the fifth one is cognitively complex. These are the references. Students, it's all about for our today's lecture. I hope you will read it and understand it. Thank you very much. Allah Hafiz.